LSS Hates Wizards. No, not the company, but these heroes here. The following are my current issues with what LSS is doing with the wizard class. Surge sucks, protection, talented wizards, and Kano 2.0 / Blaze. Let's get right to the point. Surge just sucks. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It never goes off without Wildfire or Aether Flare. 90% of players have AB3 without fail. You need to buff your card by +4 to get over AB3 and get your surge. Some people are going to scream, oh, people have AB1, AB1. With AB1, you still got to do +2. That's your staff and a Kindle for AB1. And frankly, I don't think there's enough good effects for Surge. The only two that I actually like are Destructive Aether Tide and Open the Floodgates. Those cards are the only ones that I see that need to be AB'd on site. Like, if you don't AB these, they're going to do something. Some will also say, Soul Tidings is good. I agree it's a good card because it deals 5 damage, not because of its surge. I think we should stick to cards like Sonic Boom, Aether Arc, and Reverberate. They all get value off being able to deal at least 1 point of damage. Granted, I know 2 of those are majestic, but Reverberate is a common. So it can be done. I want to be able to get value of my cards with the easy access to AB3 and the multitude of prevention effects, especially ones that are coming out in this next set, Hunted. It's kind of annoying when I can't get any value out of my card for dealing 1 damage, when a lot of attacking decks just have to deal 1 damage to strip my hand, take 39 cards out of my deck, Blood Rot tokens. Everybody gets this value off 1 damage. Or wizards, we have to deal 8 damage to get value. Speaking of prevention, we have enough. I mean it. We legitimately have enough prevention. Like, look at all these. Look at these. Editor me here. There's a couple cards I forgot to talk about, or the way that I did talk about them, they were incoherent because I was tired and did not take my medication yet. It's not a big issue. I don't really care that much. I will care that they are making more of these cards. These are, I know we're mostly to deal with like Syndra, Flick Knives shenanigans, but they are also just hitting us on the back end as a wizard for easy access of prevention. These are some older ones, like this one, Slap Happy, Take It on the Chin. I don't have a major issue, but like I said, it's all these coming together. Moon Chakra, this, like I said, these together. Misfire, this one's just a free spell void. 2, this one is the one I have the least issues with because it's the easiest to play around. If they don't have an arsenal, they can't play it. Simple as that. Whereas Oasis Respite, where you at? I took it out. Oasis Respite, you're not sure if it's in their arsenal in their hand. This one, just a free spell void. 2, Guardians honestly needed it for us because Guardians are one of the easier matchups for us. But it's kind of annoying regardless. It's just like when any deck gets something good against your own deck, it's annoying to see. This one is just an upgrade. Rangers had no quiver that they cared about inherently. So it's a free spell void 1, because I'll wait till you play your arrow, so to prevent your spell void 2. So this one's not that egregious. It's just annoying that all these prevention effects are coming up, combining together, whereas Kano isn't inherently as scary as he was. And Ocilio and Verdance, you don't need this much arcane prevention for them. These so-called wizards from Rosetta, which I have declared a Runeblade set, so as a few others, or I call it the Runeblade set with some zaps to feed the wizard gremlins. For starters, Ocilio, the dollar store Aurora. You have pretty much the same combo, slightly different orientation. It's gonna flash 30 times. The only major difference that I can tell from the combo is Acilio's arcane damage is on the back end. Aurora's damage is in between each go again. There was a chance to have a wizard styled Acilio. I had brewed it plenty. It was kind of going to be my brainstorm deck. Literally play the card brainstorm. Every time you draw a card, your hero deals 1 damage. Don't know how good it was going to be, but I got that option taken away from me. Probably for the benefit of everybody playing against Kano, that was a necessity. Now my overview of the Druid Mommy, that Verdance, she wanted a dual major in college as a guardian and a wizard, but she flunked out of one and dropped the other class. She does have an amazing combo line. It's a little bit difficult to set up at the moment, where you gain a bunch of life, you amp a lot, you send your staff, and then you send a spell with boots. That's a wizard. I would love that to be grown, cultivated, as she's a druidish class. I'm not asking for one-shot wizards. To me, the vibe of a wizard is being able to play non-attack actions with value if unblocked. If that's Surge, so be it, but neither are built this way. They have designed these cards, they have designed the set in a way that they don't feel like wizards. I'm going to present a couple cards for each talent. These designs are free to use by LSS and their design team. I'm going to start with the Earth Wizard. So the first card I created is called Growth Spike. It's a common, comes in all 3 colors, costs 0, blocks for 3, deals 3 arcane damage. It's an Earth Wizard non-attack. For each point of damage this does, make an embodiment of Earth. Decompose. If you decomposed, create an embodiment of Earth. Simple, doesn't have go again, new air, deal arcane damage, and you get some defensive on the back end. Even if you get stuffed, they AB3 it, and you play that red, you still get to decompose, and you get at least 1 embodiment of Earth. Granted, each color will deal 1 less damage, so you'll get 1 less embodiment per color. Simple, common, not too bad, I don't think. Next one I have is One with Nature. This one is majestic, comes in blue, costs XX, blocks for 3, Earth Wizard non-attack action, gain 1 life, X times. Then, if there are 4 more cards in your banish, 4 more Earth cards in your banish, this deals arcane damage equal to the amount of life you gain. Not too bad. You got to pay 6 to gain 3 life, essentially, and then you would deal 3 damage if that was the only card you played, because it doesn't have go again, so you have to gain life beforehand for this to deal more damage. You could also amp 6 for 3 life, 3 damage. Not too bad. Not too good. Next, I have a rare in all 3 colors called Bark Skin. Cost 3, blocks 3, Earth Wizard non-attack action. Create 3 embodiment of Earth tokens in red, 2 yellow, 1 blue. If there are 4 more Earth cards in your banish zone, this deals arcane damage equal to the embodiment of Earth tokens you control. Decompose. If you did this, gain go again. So you get to decompose off this one. The last card we have here is Crunch of Fall. It's legendary, costs 3, pitches for 3, blocks for 2. Earth Wizard Aura has instant, banish this from the arena and any number of Earth cards in your grave. Prevent the next X damage that would be dealt to you this turn. X is the number of cards you banish from the grave this way. I made legendary because you don't want seeing more than one of these, because I just complained about prevention. This is, if you find it, an easy way to get your 4+ and or your 8 for your hero ability. And then that's it. And then to round her off, I created her a different weapon. because I don't think her actual weapon does anything. You can change the rarity of this weapon if you want, but this is what I have. I have Arcane Dew, Earth Wizard, two-handed staff, action. Pay 2, deal 1 arcane damage. If damage was dealt by this, gain that much life. You gain some life, you deal some damage, you can amp this to go higher. It doesn't have go again, so you have to end your turn with it. Next, the lightning creature that is Acilio. I have Calm Before the Storm. It's a rare, only in red, costs 2, blocks 2, lightning wizard non-attack action. Deals 4 arcane damage, but costs 1 less per aura permanent with sigil in its name you control. If the last action you played was a lightning card, this gains amp X, where X is the amount of damage you dealt, and go again. Basically, the concept behind this card was, again, I want him to be building up, or it's like it's calm before the storm. So if you dealt damage, now the storm comes. Here's the damage. I think the go again is kind of integral to the card. Some people might say the amp plus the go again is a little too much, but it's a 2 for 4. You have to have sigils out for it to be good. Next, I have Split Current, common, all 3 colors, costs 1, blocks 2, lightning wizard non-attack action. And you may play your next wizard non-attack action card this turn as though we're an instant. If the last card you played was lightning, amp 3. So this one doesn't have go again. The 3 is in red, 2 blue, 1 yellow. So again, it requires you to have played a lightning card before, and it has to, your next card has to be a non-attack action. So you won't have go again after this. Some might say it's a little bit strong for a common. I want some good wizard non-attack actions, so that's what I'm making. Next, I have Dual Cast Sigil. Or you could say Sigil or Dual Cast, I don't know if the naming convention matters. That's a majestic red, cost 2, lightning wizard aura. At the beginning of your action phase, destroy this. When it leaves the arena, the next wizard non-attack action you play is copied with the same targets. If the last card you played was lightning, this gains when it enters the arena, return an aura to its owner's hand. The reason I made it red where a lot of the other sigils are blue is because his effect is so good. We don't want him to have too many good blues. He's a wizard, he's got plenty of blues. I made it 2 cost, so it's a little bit harder to combo with in Acilio, since he's trying to play some things. I think this is cool. I've always wanted, lightning seems like the talent where you'd get this kind of effect to copy. And I made sure it was the same targets because I think different targets makes cards a little bit too strong. And I like the idea of bouncing auras. So that's why I gave the last card you played was lightning. You can bounce aura, so you can technically bounce itself. So you could play this in a 1 cost off of a single blue and copy it. If you had played the card non-attack, a lightning action beforehand. And then for the last card, I think his weapon's fine. So I didn't make a new weapon. I like the concept for it. I have Short Circuit. Legendary. So you can only have 1 and it's hard to find in packs. The blue cost 0, lightning wizard instant. Anytime an opponent would draw 1 or more cards this turn, you draw a card instead. It's pretty good. I like the wording convention of Short Circuit. So if someone's about to go and let's say Blood Rush Bellows, you're like, nah, I'm gonna draw a card instead, instead of you drawing 2. It's a 1 of. So you only get to do it once. I think that's fine. If people think shouldn't be legendary, I think it should, as most draw cards now are going to be. If those cards in that direction is like Kano 2.0, or at the bare minimum, an Adult Blaze. Adult Blaze, I think, is the bare minimum for wizard upgrades, as it gives us a wizard that is attack action focused. She's doing pretty good in Blitz. I think she'd be not OP in CC. We would have a little bit more of a defensive style Wizard, she likes to play the defense reaction that lets you play a non-attack action on your opponent's turn, and you give a little back and forth. I think she'd be closer to like more tempo than Tempo Kano is. I haven't played a lot of her in Blitz because I don't play Blitz that much. I should. I own the card. She should have been the newest Armory deck, but instead we got Aurora, who seems to be the face card of Runeblades at the moment. A lot of the Wizard players also want Adult Blaze. So please, LSS, next Armory deck, Adult Blaze. For Kano 2.0, I'd prefer him to go on a little bit faster side, less combo-y, more tempo. I keep throwing the word tempo out. Basically, I can block 2 cards and send a card at you and have some value behind it. How I want to achieve that, he's still a 30 health hero, 4 intellect. You can make him 5. Just saying, I wouldn't mind. But his ability would be pay 1, a once per turn instant, banish a wizard non-attack action from your hand. Till the end of your next turn, you can play that card as an instant during your turn. Here, tell you, you can only play it as an instant during your turn. This allows for extra cards to be played, so they can't be stripped out of my hand. They can't be destroyed by CNC. And the instant speed, you could banish it on your opponent's turn and still have cards available to play on your turn. If people think the instant speed of the ability is too good, we can make it an action point with no go again. So this has to be either your action point for the turn, because most wizard cards don't have go again, or somehow this is at the end of your turn after you've done everything else. As for Draconic Wizard, how that would go about, what I chose was somebody that could make a long chain in quotations with, can't really make chains with non-attack actions. So essentially by giving things go again. And the way I did that was for, as worded, wizard non-attack action cards you play have surge. This gains go again. Draconic Wizard non-attack actions you play have, if this dealt damage, go again. I know earlier I said surge sucks, but within the confines of the game, this is the only way that I know how to make my cards go again without them being instant speed, because we're trying to prevent playing on their opponent's turns. Don't know if this is too strong, don't know if this is good. We'd probably have to keep the damage low. Some of the cards I created was 1 for 4 damage, Flame of the Phoenix, deal 4 arcane damage to any target. If a hero is dealt damage this way, mark them. 2 block. And then for the reward on marking them, I have Flames of Anger. Deal 3 arcane damage to any target. If a marked hero is damaged, create a fealty token. Note, you do not have to hit a hero. You could hit yourself as well. So if you're marked, you could, I should say on here, remove the mark and then create a fealty token. I don't know if that matters, arcane damage or not. Rules update would tell us if it existed. That'd be a fun way to create fealty tokens, and with the fealty tokens, you can make your wizard non-attack actions Draconic Wizard non-attack actions, and have a nice wide chain of that. All the Draconic Wizard cards would only come in red. We don't want blue cards, and they would all be 2 blocks. So that way you can have aggressive, but if you're keeping all these Draconic cards, you won't have as much block. And then I forgot to make this a spec for the hero. I guess it doesn't have to be if it's Draconic, but burn it all. Deal X plus arcane damage to each opponent and ally they control. X plus 1. X is equal to the amount of Draconic cards that you have played this turn. So if you're playing a bunch of Draconic cards, let's hope you have like a 5-card hand, unless you have some ways to play more cards. It is, to my understanding, if you have 5 cards, they're all Draconic, and you can play them all. This will deal 6 damage to each opponent and each of their allies. And then I just forgot to talk about the weapon because I have it there as well. It is Flame of Volkor. It's a Draconic two-handed staff. Instant, destroy any number of fealty tokens you control. Amp X, where X is the number of fealty tokens destroyed this turn. I forgot to put on the card you control, because if you blow up opponent's fealty tokens, that'd be pretty strong. You get to amp though. So this doesn't have to destroy them. You could also destroy them when using your non-draconic cards, but making the draconic with the fealty. It just cares how many were destroyed this turn, not how many was destroyed by the staff. If the staff is too good there, then you can again just change it to how many this has destroyed. Or you can have once per turn action, destroy a fealty token, amp 1, go again. So, or if even paying 1 per fealty token you have to destroy, and you only amp once, you could take that as well. Or you can even think amping 1 for 1 is too strong. More than once, then you do it once per turn, instant or once per turn action, destroy 1 fealty token you control, amp 1. But again, I like to make things overpowered so they can always be tuned back later. And that's all I got. And if you made it this far in the video, if you watched the whole thing, made it to the end, comment nerf Katsu.